Power generators at two key power plants attached to the national grid are not in operation.
According to the Ministry of Power and Renewable Energy, two generators at the Norotchole and Kalanitisa power plants have been shut down due to maintenance.
Any power generation plant requires an annual maintenance. Due to the shortage in the supply of power in the recent past, we have already passed a period for maintenance.
Recently, one of the units that restricts the release of toxic fumes from one of the generators at the Norotchole coal power plant malfunctioned. Newsfirst reported the manner in which fly ash mixed with material from the toxic fumes are released to the environment and its impact on the seas off the coast of the power plant. The Northwestern Province Environmental Authority on many occasions has released instructions to the Norotchole coal power plant with regard to environmental issues. The authority says despite calls for a technical report from the power plant, those responsible have failed to do so, adding the respective units must be shut down if the impact on the environment needs to be minimized.
There are several environmental issues. As there are strong sea winds, fly ash spreads with the dust. At times, the winds are even stronger. We have set up community committees to bring the people together and raise awareness. Until today, we only knew the piled-up ash is spreading with the wind. But now, we are aware that the ash is being mixed with the water. That affects marine life. Tourists bathe a distance away. Even the boys in the village bathe in the sea.
The Secretary to the Ministry of Power and Renewable Energy says the tender for the 300-megawatt combined cycle power plant proposed to be constructed in Kerawalapitiya has been awarded to Lakdanavi power producer.
It took the technical committee almost a year to evaluate the bids. There were issues within the tender board as well. However, last week we were able to award the tender to a firm called Lakdanavi.
Sri Lanka called for tenders for the 300-megawatt combined cycle power plant at Kerawalapitiya, and 8 companies put forward their proposals. The tender process faced numerous obstacles since the very beginning, and now it has been awarded to Lakdanavi, of which a majority share is owned by Lanka Transformers Limited. Lanka Transformers Limited is a subsidiary of the CEB, of which the CEB has majority of the shares. Therefore, an issue arises as to how this tender was awarded at a time the evaluations were done by the Procurement and Assessment Committee, of which the CEB had its representatives. The most pressing issue is the country called for international tenders for the construction of this power plant without adding another burden to the country. However, what is the advantageous situation that would arise by awarding the tender to a firm of which a majority share is held by a state-owned enterprise? Previously, the tender for the construction of the 300-megawatt Yugadanavi power plant in Kerawalapitiya was awarded to West Coast Power Private Limited, which is attached to Lanka Transformers Limited. The project cost $294.8 million, and the majority of the funding was from loans obtained at a high interest rate. $200 million was obtained from the Exim banks of the US, Germany, Netherlands and France, as well as from the UK branch of the HSBC. Therefore, there is an issue as to how the funding for this investment of constructing the new power plant will be sought. Over the recent days, trade unions and anti-corruption activists condemned the conduct of Ravindra Kumara Pittigalage and MJMN Marikkar, who are shareholders and board members of Lanka Transformers Limited and its associate companies. Will the contract for the construction of the 300-megawatt combined cycle power plant at Kerawalapitiya benefit the country? Or is it a venture that will benefit some and cause a loss to the state? News First will keep a close watch.